Thank you. Okay, I forgot my clicker. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for coming today. And before we start, since now you know me, and I usually don't do that, usually I don't tell anyone who I am until the very, very end. So if you don't like it, you don't know me, forget about me. So let's start to get to know you. And why are you here today? So let's start with you.
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a technical consultant with a cloud computing organization. So I look into regional operations and business development. And I'm here because my partner is going to class. He couldn't make it today, and I want to start helping him, as a side partner. So there's a lot I thought I could learn for myself and for him.
Okay, fantastic.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Benjamin, and I'm here because I really want to be more aware of my emotions when it comes to doing business. Because I realized that it's kind of an up and down all the time. Like there's setbacks and success. So kind of just understanding how that works and how it affects my decisions as well. Basically, yeah. I'm very curious to hear this.
Okay, great. Thank you, thank you.
My name is Vignesh. Like everyone said, so I was very interested in the title. It was emotional strength for entrepreneurs, but I think it applies almost everywhere. But
True.
it's a very interesting thing because the biggest obstacle is usually just yourself. Yeah, like you put up a wall on what's possible and what's not possible. So all that happens inside your head. So let's see what emotional strength can help me achieve here.
Great, great.
Okay, so Tim is here, good morning, and I'm a freelancer. Currently working on different IT projects, and I'm here just because of some curiosity actually. And the title is nice. I'm also interested in startup environment in UAE. Also, I've been to many startup events. Not the winner, but usually on the second or the third place. So why not actually to learn new techniques, how to handle actually such a business point.
Great. And what's your name?
TS or
TS.
Stefan,
Okay. So thank you again for coming, and let's jump into it. This is for me is really challenging. I usually take between 3 to 5 days to speak about emotions. So putting it in 2 hours is really fun to try. So let's see how this will work out. So I will start with some questions, and let's see, what do you know about emotions? So what's your definition of emotion? Do you know anything about that?
Feelings?
Feelings. Okay.
In one word. So basically, depending on your mood swings or depending on your situation, how you feel at that point of time, and how you express those feelings or emotions.
Okay, fantastic.
Connect it with movements, even like emotions, because that's what it felt like to me recently as well. Like as I just said, going up, going down, like feeling good, feeling bad.
So it moves.
It moves, yeah.
So- And it's really a bit weird because people will always refer to emotions as feelings. And do you think there's a difference between emotions and feelings?
See, the way I look at it, every feeling or emotion, it has to have a neurochemical basis for its existence.
Yes.
So a feeling could be just like a low dose of some neurochemical reaction happening in your brain, and then when there's an overload, you could call it an emotion. You can get really excited, or you can just be like mildly happy. And it's like the difference between like taking a little bit of, like having a little drink and having a lot to drink.
So the little drink is the feeling,
Yeah.
and the bigger drink is the emotions. Okay, interesting.
Actually, I'm not expert in that area, so I'm just.
So you will have the right answer.
Yeah.
So try it. You will have the right answer.
For me,
Gut feeling. what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is like just, yeah, some kind of actions or responses from our body based on the environment. And yeah, I wouldn't make, I don't know actually what exactly is the difference yet.
The difference between them. Okay, fantastic. So this is emotions in general, and I will tell you the difference between emotions and feelings in a minute. Before that, let's go to something more difficult to answer, is what are negative emotions, and how do you deal with them? And I'll tell you how people usually deal with them, but let me hear from you.
So negative emotion is something that makes the other person uncomfortable. So let's say you do something that makes the other person uncomfortable. Now, making yourself comfortable or uncomfortable with that is a very subjective matter of personality. Some people retrospect and it's like I was wrong, and some people just feel, no, that is my point and I stand by it, but the other person might still be hurt.
And how usually do you deal with your negative emotions?
Well, for instance, for me, it takes a while. I need like my space to retrospect, like the entire equation.
Okay.
And then I'm more like old school, so I maybe would just, think about what was my fault, what was the other person's fault, and maybe try and come to a neutral ground. If it was my fault, maybe just apologize. If it's their fault, maybe just try to explain it more politely.
Okay, fantastic. And how do you deal with your negative emotions?
First of all, I don't call them like negative emotions. For me, everything
Great.
is like a challenge. So
Okay.
for me because what I realized is that, I still don't know what's my full potential. So based on all these small challenges, I can somehow explore my full potential. So for me, I'm ready to handle such things, and I don't pay much attention to them. So if there's some kind of difficult day, I just want to learn from it. This is my way of,
Great. So when you talk about challenges, you're talking about what's happening in the day, not how you feel about what's happening on the day. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I got.
I don't put much attention to the emotion part because I just want to be practical.
So you ignore them and focus on the learning. Is that correct? Great. How do you deal with the negative emotions?
So I deal with negative emotions. So last 2 years, I've actually been working with one very specific kind of meditation that really focuses on that aspect. So how it works is, like a very brief summary is, you have all different kinds of emotions, but you react to your emotions in a very specific way, very subjective way to you. So this kind of, the process of this is that you want to be more positive even with negative emotions. You want to be very accepting of anger, of shame, guilt, feeling like an idiot.
So you want to bear them in a way.
No, you want to be as positive as you can be, and if you keep practicing, it gets easier and easier.
Yeah.
And so you put a positive frame around a negative emotion rather than putting a negative frame around a negative emotion.
Yeah.
It's one option, basically, one possibility.
Is it working?
Yeah, I think so. I feel good.
Think so.
I feel good.
Okay, fantastic.
It's very much what everybody else is saying. For me, I think I try to relabel them or like negative emotions, or just look at them from a positive point of view, also like what helps, and that is not always, I don't always manage this, it's very difficult sometimes, but or for me, gratitude, I don't know if that's an emotion or a feeling or whatever, but this one really helps me to, let's say I'm even trying to be grateful for challenges or negative emotions that I can
Yeah.
learn. So that's the one I use most of the time to remorph all
The
emotions,
gratefulness, yeah.
gratefulness, and it works sometimes.
Sometimes.
But the more I practice, like you said, it actually works.
Okay, great. So,
I think, it works sometimes. I do that as well. Like I think about the positive things that have happened. But sometimes things are like not up to you. Like the emotional baggage you don't have the control to that situation. So that scenario, like, what I do is just point it out, you know, just poking holes and maybe point it out.
So because sometimes it's not in your control,
Yes,
you cannot do
exactly.
anything else, right? Okay, great. So people would usually use 3 strategies to work with negative emotions. And before I tell you the difference, let's see how people would deal with them. And tell me from your experience, how's that? The first one is that we will try to ignore them. So I will feel fear or sad or frustration or whatever, but I'll try to ignore it. Okay? And when I try to ignore it, do I really ignore it? You'll always feel something, right? Because it's there, it's living with you. As if you're carrying a bag and you said in your head, I'm not carrying a bag, I'm not carrying a bag, I'm not carrying a bag, but are you carrying the bag or not? It's still there and you still can feel it, but you choose not to focus on it, but you're carrying it. So this is one thing. The other thing is, if you cannot ignore it,
It piles up.
then you're going to have to bear it. You're going to live with it. You're going to say, I'm angry, but I don't care. I have fear, but I don't care. I have frustration, but I don't care. I'm strong, I'm da. So try to bear it. And then usually that will also not work. And if this also does not work, hello, then you come in. If that also does not work, then people would go to the last one, which is really amuses me, which is competition. So you come to me and you say, Yusri, today I'm really very sad. And I would say, but I'm more sad than you. Go to your wife and tell her, today was a really very horrible day at work. She will tell you, what about me doing with the kids and doing that and doing this? She will try to compete with you with her negative emotions, and let's see who have more negatives than the other ones. And these are the strategies. These are the only 3 strategies that people use when they deal with negative emotions. And usually it will not work. It will work for some time, but then does the problem go away? It doesn't. Okay? So after a while, you'll find out that I didn't do anything because I bared it, or I ignored it, or I competing with it. And competition is really nice because you're talking about it, so you feel like you're good. I'm not really carrying it on my back, I'm carrying it with me. So me and my sadness, me and my regret, me and my kids, and me and my work, me and my stuff. Whatever is making you feel irritated or have negative emotions with you, you're competing with it. But is there a way that we can actually deal with our negative emotions, and are they really negative or not? So to answer this question, we need to answer first, what are emotions? We really need to understand what is that. So emotions are different, and how we get them depends on how you deal or understand a certain situation. So the first difference between emotions and feelings is that emotions are the reaction that we get from an external event. So let me give you an example. What team did you support in World Cup?
Well, I was actually supporting,
Ah.
I was supporting France.
France. Okay, fantastic. So if France would have scored a goal on the final at the very last minute of the game, how would you feel? Very last minute.
Joyful.
Joyful. And what do you usually do when you're joyful?
Maybe just make some noise, celebrate with friends.
Okay, so you'll do noise, you will jump. What do you do when you celebrate at the last minute if your team scores?
Pretty much the same thing.
Show me.
What?
Show me. What do you do?
Just, I mean, let's see. I would just, just let her scream or something.
Scream.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that now? You can do it? Yeah. Okay, so come here. Show me, how will you be excited? Exactly. So this is how you do it. So you will scream, you will jump, you will left, right? But how long will that last? The jumping, screaming, and hugging someone next to you. Few seconds, maybe few minutes, right? If this is the finals and the final game and all of that, so it will last for a few minutes. But do you continue your day jumping and dancing and doing like that? No, right? But how do you continue your day?
Well, you're happy. So
You're happy. So what would we call the first one? Joy.
joy.
And the second one? Happiness. What is the difference?
One is short term, one is long lasting.
Exactly. So one is short and one is long. One has a high key. So joy, we jump, we dance, right? We scream. But then happiness. How do you live by when you're happy? It's a low key, right? Now I'm happy. I'm not dancing, I'm not jumping, I'm not screaming like her, but I'm happy, right? So emotions are the reaction of an external event. Feelings are the reaction of emotion. Does that make sense? So an external event will happen, I'll get emotion, and then once I get the emotion, I will have a feeling to that emotion. And this is how we do it. So emotions are your reactions to the external events. But is it only the reaction to external event? I forgot to tell you about the good news and bad news. Okay. So the good news, let's start first with the bad news. The bad news is that because now we know that our reactions are emotions toward the external events, now we have bad news, or the bitter news is that we cannot get rid of our emotions, especially the negative ones, because you cannot control external events, right? So whatever external events happen, you will have to have an emotion. This is the bad news. The good news is they are not actually negative emotions. So there is nothing called negative emotions. And I know that we've spent years and years and years, and we've been brought up people telling us there is something called negative emotion. It's not true. It's a big lie. There is nothing called negative emotions. We have, as he rightly said, we have negative events. Emotions are not negative. What happened is negative. So we have negative events, challenges in life. Our emotions are separate from that. So we have emotions. So whatever we have, it's called emotions. Not negative, not positive. They are emotions. Okay? And as a result of our emotions, we get what we call feelings, which is a wrong word. What we get is, when we fall in love, what do we say? What do you say about yourself? When you are, I am in, yes, put one word before love. What would it be? I am in, no, after you have fallen. So after you have fallen, where are you?
Different state or
Huh? State, exactly. So it's not feelings, because feelings are hot, cold, right? Soft, hard. This is feeling, right? If I put my hand here, I can feel something. So these are feelings. But what we call feelings are actually called state. So I'm in a state of love. I'm in a state of sadness. It's a state. And how do we produce this state? From external event. Emotion, and then our state. So do we now understand how can we reprogram our emotion? How?
I have a hunch.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, tell me about your hunch.
Yeah, so basically then it comes down to how I perceive these emotions. So the emotions, I have to live through them anyway.
You perceive the emotion, or how do you produce the emotion as a result of
Of the event.
external event? Then what do you need to perceive? What is the thing that you're perceiving?
The emotion.
The external event.
The external event.
So how you understand the external event, create an emotion, and then the emotion will create a state. So let me show you this in a drawing. So an external event will happen, and then you're going to get this external event through your 5 senses. And this is the model that they use in NLP, so neuro-linguistic programming. Anyone have been in a neuro-linguistic programming before, NLP? Yeah, good. One,
I never did
no,
anything.
two. Okay, fantastic. So this is what we call our communication model. In the NLP world, they would call it communication model. And the communication model refers to how we communicate with our internal stuff, so our emotion, feelings, and all of these things. So an external event will happen, and then through our five senses, we're going to get this, and then we're going to create an experience. And then depending on our experience, we will create a meaning. So let me give you an example. If, what happened? I'll tell you a story better. So I was giving a training, and then the lady, assistant lady who was helping me in the room from the company that I went to give the training, she was pregnant. And I was carrying big box of stuff, and I was going out of the door, and she was coming out of the door as well in front of me. So when she left the door to slam in my face. So one of the attendees was sitting there. He ran quickly and he said, "Yusri, I'm really sorry, she didn't mean," and ta. Do you think I should be angry? She slammed the door in my face. Yes, no?
It depends on your state of mind at that point.
Do you think it depends on the state? Yes, it depends on the state.
Well, if you're trying to do that box, you would be angry, and but if you just look
But why would I be angry? Why would I be angry? Yeah, but why? Why did that make me angry? From her? Am I angry from the door or from her? The door. So I will go to the door.
the action of the door being slammed, yeah.
That angered you more than her walking through the door.
Yes,
So it was the action of the door slamming rather than her walking out and not leaving the door open.
exactly. So what does that mean? Exactly what you said. It's my perception of what happened. If I give it a meaning that she purposely did that, I will get angry. If I get a different meaning that because she's pregnant, she has her own load, couldn't focus on what she's doing, she didn't notice the door, do you think I'll be angry? No, right? If I'm speaking right now and one of you guys started telling me, Yusri, I have a question now, and you interrupted me. Again, I can get angry if the meaning I get is that you are interrupting me, or I get really happy if the meaning I give to this event that you are excited to ask. So who is responsible to create an emotion? Me, the event, but I'm responsible for the meaning I give it to it. So my wife would come to me, and I'm working on my laptop. I have 2 startups, 2 kids, 2 cats, 2 partners, 2 investors.
Only one was.
Only me. Okay. Yeah, only one wife now. Yeah. And it is recorded. Don't forget. Okay. So so 2, and I'm working on my laptop, and she would come to. She would go first and do all the makeup, all the stuff, and she looks fantastic. And she comes to me, Yusri, I want to speak to you, not now. Yusri, I need you, not now. How do you think she'll feel? In her head, what do you think the conversation that will happen? Yes, she's not a priority. I don't love her anymore. I'm getting old. All of that stuff is happening there, right? And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger every second. Now, why is this happening? Because of
Expectation.
the interpretation of
No, her expectation
her expectation.
of you.
Yes. And before that, it was the meaning she gave to the external event that I did, not now. This is the external event, not now. Or even I didn't hear at all what she's doing. I didn't look at what she have done. She spent hours in front of the mirror doing things, and I'm... So she gave a meaning to that movement that I don't care. Now, could she have taken another meaning? Yes? What was a different meaning?
She could think of it as you trying to provide for her and yeah, creating more income or whatever to provide for the children and her.
Okay, so this is a really positive meaning. I'm focusing on what I'm doing, I'm busy, I'm trying to provide for her and the kids, and I'm working really hard. But does that mean that she don't take what she needs? Or can she still take what she needs?
Can, but later on. Once
Later,
done,
no, I mean now. Do you think she can take what she wants now?
I don't think so, because you're invested with your breakthrough and your
Exactly. Now I want you to impersonate me. Now you are the one who's doing all of that, okay? So you're Yusri, okay? And I'm Mariam, and she will hear me saying that. So this will be another conversation, okay? So, so what I will do is, I will come to you and I say, Yusri, I know you're very busy now, and I know you have lots in your head, and I want to speak with you for 2 minutes. Can you give me 2 minutes? What do you think you'll answer me now?
Are you sure it's gonna take a minute?
No, you tell me.
If it's really important, tell me what it is, or if it can wait.
Exactly. So now what happened?
Now she would probably give it a second thought if it's actually that urgent or it can wait.
Exactly. So how did she come to act differently? What did she do? Yeah, and she communicated. And before communication, how did the communication came right? Because she changed the meaning of what I've done. So the meaning that I've done, it's not, I don't like you, I hate you, we're old, all of that. It's, I'm busy. So I understand you're busy. So I come to you and I say, I understand you're busy. Can I take a couple of minutes? Can I take a hug? Whatever. Whatever she would say, I will do, because she now understands what is happening. Does that make sense? Yeah? So because we get the emotion. So the emotion that she brought, what would we call it at the beginning, before she understood, when she understood that this was bad? What was the name of the emotion that she created? What was the name of the emotion?
The rejection.
Rejection, right? So she took the rejection and then she acted on the rejection. And how do you think it will go after that? It will be a big fight, right? And this is what we do, because we don't understand how it goes. So an external event will happen, we'll receive it with our 5 senses, and then it will go to our experience, and then we will create a meaning. Once we create a meaning, we will have an external representation, internal representation in our head. So our head does not understand words, does not understand anything except pictures. And this is why we call it internal representation, because it will create a picture. And the picture in your head may be colors, cats, dogs, whatever it is. It does not have to represent the actual thing. So if you think about your loved, your wife or mother or anything, the picture in your head can be anything. So if your mother could be a carrot cake or an apple cake or whatever, it doesn't need to be the mother herself. And we'll do a test right now. And then once we create this picture, then the mind will create our state. And once we create our state, it will affect our physiology, so how we sit. So people will talk to you about body language, and then they will come to her and say, why are you crossing your legs and crossing your hands? You're probably feeling scared, closed, not open, all of that. Are you feeling all of this? Or cold, simply, right? Or maybe, I feel comfortable this way, right? Have you ever felt comfortable that you have done that? Because you are comfortable, right? So it doesn't mean anything except if there is something happening. So our physiology will be affected by whatever is happening, and then we will make our own body language, and then through this body language, we will create our behavior. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So external event will create an emotion. Emotion will create a state. The state will affect our physiology, how we move our body language, and then our body language will affect how we behave. So behavior is whatever comes out of your mouth second. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So this is how the whole thing goes. So What does that mean? It means that we can control our emotions. Isn't that right? If I know,
Control our reactions.
we can control our reactions. Exactly. So we cannot control our emotions. Because why?
Emotions are internal, reactions are external.
Exactly. So emotions will happen anyway as a reaction to an external event. So if they happen anyway as an external event, what does that tell you about it? Why do they happen? Why do you think the purpose of having them?
You know how to act.
Exactly, because it will tell you how to act depending on the meaning you gave to them. So if I said Yusri is busy, I will behave differently. If I say he's rejecting me, I will behave differently. So it depends on the meaning. But your emotions will tell you how to react. And this is why there is nothing called negative emotions. They are all emotions. But because people before that didn't understand them, didn't know how to deal with fear, anger, frustration, and all of that, they didn't know what to call them, and so they called them negative. And what do you do with negative emotion? Nothing. So you'll come with all of your frustration and you go to someone and he will tell you, play music, go to the gym, run. What do? You go running and you go to the gym. When you go to the gym, how do you feel? Fantastic, right? It all goes away. But when you go back to your bed, what happens? It all comes back, right? You go play music, fantastic. You come back, bad. Because you're not actually listening to what is the emotion is telling you. So you're trying to do the three stuff that we said. People will deal with negative emotions with three stuff. Either they try to bear them, ignore them if they couldn't, and then compete with them if both other strategies fail.
It's like a placebo effect, you know, because you assume it worked for them, or at least you assume because they said it worked for them, it might work for you, but you actually don't know if they were affected by it in a long term.
Exactly, and this is why people get stressed. So what is stress? Stress are many negative emotions that you are keeping inside and you're not dealing with them. And then in a little while you'll understand why stress happens and why it doesn't really matter whatever pills we take, it doesn't work because it's not in your physiology, it's in your head. And if you understand the meanings of your emotions, you can fix it really very quickly and very simply.
Is that something you said people may compete with them? What do you mean compete? Like generate other emotions?
Okay, so this is what will happen. I will come to my wife and I say, today I had a very horrible day at work. She said, Yusri, who cares? I had a more horrible day with the kids. And then I will tell her, yeah, but my boss did that, but your mother did that, and but and then we'll keep competing with them because we cannot do anything about it. And so this is how competition works in negative emotions. You'll sit with a friend and your work is stressful, but not as stressful as a startup, and startup is not as stressful as being a manager, and it's not as being starting my life or ending my life. And we're all competing with negative emotions because we don't really understand them. We don't know the reason for it. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. So let's do a test and understand the cycle that I told you. So what I will ask you to do now is I will ask you to close your eyes. Okay. And then I will tell you a story. And then through this story, you will experiment two things. How internal representation happens, and how do you feel with the story. Are you ready? So when I say 3, you will close your eyes. Okay? Don't close your eyes because you're looking at the camera, so you don't do that. All right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So the story goes like this. You won your lottery. You've seen the numbers now on TV. And you made $65 billion. First thing you do is you call a limo. Guy comes to your house. Now you can see your house as you can see it. It's totally up to you. It's your house that you're living in now. But the limo is coming to take you to your dream vacation. And this could be a nice little island, big island, jungle, desert, wherever you want to go. The driver comes out and he puts the red carpet. And then you walk through this red carpet to this really nice limo that has your preferred color. You go in, you have all your drinks, all of the stuff, nice music, and he drives away to the airport. In the airport, this nice jet that is waiting for you, you just bought it and you're very, very happy. You have $65 billion and you built the airplane in a couple of days and it's designed for you. So go in, take your best seat, sit next to the window, and now you can hear the jet roaring and taking off. You're between the skies. You can see all the blues, all the colors, and you're relaxing, having your favorite drink. You arrive to your island. You go down the runway, another red carpet, and these beautiful girls and guys wearing these roses around their necks, dancing, playing music, cheering for you, and then you walk to the beach. You're barefooted and you can feel the heat of the sand under your feet. And you can hear on the background some kids playing. It's not noisy, it's at the very background. Giggles of kids. The sun is not burning, but you feel the warmth. And your feet are getting into the cold water. So you have this nice mix between hot and cold and all of that. You go to your seat, you sit down, and the waiter is coming with a big bowl of ice cream. Your favorite taste, flavors, and everything. And it comes to you, and you get your scoop in it, and you put it at the tip of your mouth, and you start tasting it. Ah, onions. It's rotten. It's full of flies. Ah, and open your eyes. What happened? What happened? Nothing happened. Okay, so you didn't go to the onions.
It was like I was in the middle of my sleep, and then I was having this dream, and then it drifted, and then I just woke up.
Okay.
I suddenly remembered my trip to Maldives, so we were saying all of that. I think it's just maybe brought a little bit of memories and kind of like, you know, where I picture myself and stuff like that. So,
And how did you feel throughout the story?
I don't think a specific feeling. It was more of all pictures.
And these pictures that you saw in your head, how did that make you feel? You were smiling when your eyes were closed. So it brought good memory, happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, I was shocked
Why?
because I was feeling good and picturing sitting there and eating ice cream. I normally don't really like ice cream, but then I thought actually now when I'm trying it, it's sort of vanilla ice cream. It's nice, I like it. And then you brought that on with the onions and I even tried to put in so much effort to taste it, so then that's kind of a shock, really.
Exactly. So, but you felt it, right?
Yeah.
And what was easier for you in your head? Was it the sounds, the feelings, or the pictures?
Pictures.
Pictures were
It's just like soothing and relaxing.
okay. And then how did that make you feel?
Exactly, relaxing.
Relaxing. All right.
I'm still traumatized
By the onions.
by the perfect vacation, 65 billion.
And what was easier for you? Pictures, feelings, or pictures?
Easy for me, beaches.
Pictures. Okay. And how did you feel through the journey?
Alright, nothing special.
Okay.
Yeah, sitting, like, visualizing the whole experience was nice. It was relaxing.
Yeah, for me, yeah, like meditation combined with pictures.
With pictures. Okay, and some people will find pictures easier to come, some other people will find sounds are easier to come, and some other people will feel the heat of the sand and the water and all of that easier. So people are different, but what does that tell you? That if we made up an external event, and we all know it's not true, right? But even though it's not true, it created an emotion. Now, some emotions can be good, some emotions can be bad, but is it really bad and good, or is it the meaning that we give to it? So because you know it's a story, it's an imagination, but you still gave it a good meaning, like, I like what I see, it's reality, so you felt good, right? Because in your head, if you're saying that this was just an imagination, would you have felt anything? Probably not, right? It's just saying we know that we are in the assembly, we're sitting in a chair, probably not so comfortable, all of that stuff, right? And then you will not feel anything. And then this will be another choice of giving my story a different meaning. Does that make sense? So in a nutshell, things will happen around you, and whatever meaning you give to whatever is happening will create an emotion. Keep repeating that emotion, you will create a state that will not change. I'll give you an example. Do you have any manager, friend, someone that in your head said, I don't trust him anymore, I don't like him anymore? Do you have had this experience before? Okay, so why did that happen? I will tell you what happened. He created one negative event. You had a negative emotion. You said, he's my friend, I will bear it. He did another one, and then he did another one. And every time he creates a negative event, he creates a negative emotion, and then you create a negative state. And what will we call this state at the very end? I don't trust him. So keep repeating negative events, you'll create repeated negative emotions, you will be in a technology assembly world, you have installed a negative state. Now, do you think we can uninstall it? Yes? What can we do?
Change your interpretation, replace it with a different emotion.
How can you do that? How can you replace it? What do you need to do?
Change how you interpret something or have a conversation.
This is you, but what about the guy who created all of that? Can he change it?
Who created the distrust?
Yes. So what does he need to do?
He needs to understand that this creates a negative state of people,
And then what does he need?
and then change the act,
Okay. So I'll,
change the way it's perceived.
exactly. So one of the things that will happen is I will do one thing. Let's say I will get my wife to be upset. So now I want to make a recovery. So I'll go buy 150 dirhams, roses and stuff, and then I will go home and say, sweetie, I'm sorry. And then she takes it and then she throw it and she don't speak to me. And in my head I would say, why she's having a big fuss? I mean, this was only because we were talking about my socks that is always lost and I always cannot find it and all of that stuff. It's not a big deal. Why the roses didn't work? It's simply because I have done so many other things beside the sock thing, so I created a negative state. So one set of roses will not fix that. I need to clean the dishes, external event, and then feed the kids, external event. I need to work hard. I really worked hard to create the negative state, so I really need to do another set of external events, positive one, create a set of positive emotion, and then reverse the state. Does that make sense? So one act will not do because I really worked hard to create this negative state. So when you go next time and amend with your girlfriend, wife, mother, don't expect it's one thing. If you've been creating a whole big pile of negative things, you need to create another big pile of positive things so you can create a different state of trust. And this is why when you have the same issue with a colleague in a work, you don't trust him, it's because he have done so many negative events. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Do you want to take a break? Yes, no, we can, we can, we can't, we can't, we can't, we can't,
We can.
we can't. We can?
I am in no position to say that. I'll let the others say.
Okay, so let's have a break, but in a different way. So I will ask you to stand up. Because how many trainings have you attended before, guys? How many? Yeah, so like billions, right?
Okay, not that.
Okay,
A few, like one each month.
one each month.
Countless.
Countless. Five.
Tough number countless times.
Countless.
5 plus.
5 plus.
Yeah, something
Few.
like that. Only 4?
4.
2, 3.
No, not here. I mean anywhere in the world.
Oh, like for workshops in general.
Yeah.
I lost track.
Okay.
In the past year or just
In your entire life,
16?
60, 50.
Also,
So many.
thousands.
Thousands.
A lot.
A lot.
Science doesn't stick to the fact countless.
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 Yeah, no idea.
No idea.
Probably like 10, 20.
10.
More than 100.
More than 100. Okay. So how many times from out of these countless numbers have you chosen to go yourself? So nobody drove you to go or invited you to go or to push you to go. You said, this is really good for me. I want to go. How many of you have done that before? So just raise your hand if this is something that you have. So you have done it before. You attended something that you really wanted to attend to, except poor you. Never. You've been always pushed to today, okay? Okay. So now, how many of you, those who attended something that they really, really liked and they attended, and they said, yes, what we're hearing is exactly what we need. This is really very powerful for me. This is exactly what I need. This is exactly what will change my life. How many of you have heard that before? Like you attended something and yeah, it was great. And then how many of you out of those who,
Percentage starts with degrees here.
what is that?
Percentage starts with degrees here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how many out of these ones that you said, yes, this is it. Now I know what I need to do. And then yet you didn't do anything. How many? Come on, be truthful. Right? Whatever. Why? Why do you think this happens?
I guess it's a period of time where you're like, really fired up that, you're going to do this very thing.
They
which you-
triggered your emotions, but
Yeah.
you didn't.
And then after a while it simmers down and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, then, yeah, it's not going to work.
Like I said, they triggered your emotions, but you didn't use the emotions to
To build on it.
happen,
Yeah?
make the external stuff.
And I'll tell you really the reason, okay? So it has nothing to do with your emotions. It has to do with exactly what you said. How can we take this emotion and work with it? And I'll give you the reason. Now, people will go and attend these workshop setup, and what do? Is that sit down again? And I want you to be quick, okay? Because I'm gonna make you sit, stand, okay? So when I say it, do it very, very quickly. You ready? Yeah? Okay. So they would sit, and as I'm speaking, or anyone else, you know what they are doing? Like this. What is that? You're approving it, right? You're saying good stuff, but like this. Now imagine if I'm doing the training and I'm talking to you like this. Emotions are really nice if you use it wisely. Your life. How would you feel?
Like what I'm thinking, honestly.
Yeah? Okay. So it does not work, right?
Do something.
Yeah. So when people just shake their heads, they would take probably 20% of whatever happening in the room, and then 6 months down the time, they will only remember or act on maybe 10%, 5%, because they didn't take it really in, all of it. But now if you're writing notes, what happens? Nothing, okay? Because if you're writing notes like this, what happens to the notebook? Usually it's forgotten in the car. 90% in the rest are in the car, and rarely it goes to your home. where it will again be forgotten somewhere under your bed. But what really works, you get moving when you're listening. When you say, yes, I want to ask a question, when you move your body, when you shake it, when you understand, when you stand up, when you sit down, when you have energy talking to me. You have energy. Show me.
Oh.
Whoa, yes. Can you scream now?
Oh, I saw that.
Still not? No charging? Okay, we'll try again later. Okay. So don't think that you got away with it, all right? So stand up. So whenever I will tell you something, when I say, does that make sense? I want you to tell me, yes! Can you do this?
Yes.
Again. It didn't work again. So, if I tell you, does that make sense? And you really having sense, I mean, don't tell me yes if it doesn't. But if it does, I want you to tell me, yes! Can we do that?
Yes.
No, I can hear, by the way, that they all said it, except you. I've been doing this for so long.
Yes!
Thank you very much. Okay. So if we have this energy, you're going to get a lot out of the day. And it's only 2 hours, guys, right? Which we probably having... How much time do we have left? Okay. Sit down. Okay, do we have an agreement?
Yes.
Do we have an agreement? Yes! Yes. And I want you to say yes. Okay, can you do that?
Yes!
Okay, but with them.
Okay.
Don't say it alone, right? It doesn't feel good when you're, you know, so, okay, again. So, are we ready?
Yes!
If you don't do it with them, you're going to do it alone. This is between you and me, okay? Nobody heard that. Okay? All right. So this is how emotions are being created. So external events, we get a meaning, it creates the emotion, senses, state, physiology, and our behavior. Okay? All right. Now, how can we use this? How can we understand this? So let's explain what are emotions and all the set of them. And I know that you are more concerned with what we call negative, so I'll focus only on this because in 1 hour we cannot cover them all, but I will cover the major ones, the ones that we all have. Now, emotions are endless and we cannot count them because every one of us will rephrase them or give them a different name than the other. So let me give you an example. You all know love, right? Love. No, you know?
No, I didn't.
You know it? Okay. So we all know love, right? So this is what I want you to do. Bless you. And do you know what is a chair? Yeah? Okay. Are you sure? Okay. So this is what I want you to do. Since we don't have pen and papers, this is what I want you to do. I want you in your head, okay, to pick what love is for you in one word only, in your head. But pick the word in your head. Don't tell me, all right? Once you have a word in your head, what is love for you in your head, just do like this. If you cannot find what love is, then we have a different problem. It will need a different course. So when you're ready. Okay. We're waiting. Ah, you've done? Oh, okay, my bad glasses. All right. Okay. So we're all got it, right? Okay, cool. So we'll start with you. And please tell me what you have. Don't change your mind if you hear something better or nicer. Just tell me what you had in your mind. Attraction. Care. Care. Warmth. Loving. Hard. Hard. Warming. These are two. Yes, okay, but we'll take it,
Devotion.
Devotion. Abstract. Comfort. Okay, so different meanings, right? Who's right and who's wrong? What is that? Everyone is right?
Everyone is wrong.
You come here and tell me everyone is right. Don't say it when you're there.
Everyone is right.
Everyone is right. So how come everyone is right?
This is a personal meaning.
It's subjective.
It's personal, it's subjective. And how did we get these meanings? From our experiences. And how did we create our experiences?
From the external.
From external events. Does that make sense? So we had external events, we gave it a meaning, and we kept that meaning. But this is love, and I know I'm tricky, and I gave you something that can have a different billion meanings. But let's go for a chair. We should have one meaning for the chair. So now in your head, I want you to choose a meaning. What does a chair mean? When you're ready, do that.
Is it one word or?
One word. So no hard-seated, soft chair, okay?
No, what are you talking about?
Chair.
What does chair mean for you in one word?
Okay.
In your head, when you're ready. What does it mean? What does it really mean for you? Okay, ready, 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 ready. Why are you doing it like that so I cannot see it? And you push it up, push it up, push it up. Yeah, okay.
Comfort.
Great, fantastic. So,
Comfort.
comfort.
I did put my thumb.
Ah, you didn't put it.
Furniture.
Furniture.
Comfort.
Comfort. Relaxation. Comfort.
Relaxation.
Relaxation.
Work.
Work.
Support.
Support.
Nothing actually. Like I don't put. I don't.
Comfortable.
Furniture.
Furniture. Okay, so from comfortable to furniture to work to support, these are different meanings, right? Total different meanings. So what does that tell you?
Chair is multiple words. A chair is multiple words. You can't
Yes.
define one word.
You cannot go and buy chair because you cannot know what it does mean. So, but what does that also tell you?
Tells you people perceive things differently.
100%. So even simple thing like a chair will have different meanings to it. So all of our experiences, all of our emotions will be different because the different meanings that we give it to the stuff. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes! Yeah, so I say, does that make sense? And you say yes, okay? All right. I'll test you again, by the way, right? Okay. So let's go and dive deep into our negative emotions. And let's start with one common one. What is one common negative emotion? Fear. Right? Fear is always, how many of you experienced fear before? Okay. Quickly, what was you afraid of? Give me something.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. From what?
Anything.
Anything.
An exam.
Exam.
Future.
Future.
Losing money.
Losing money.
It's kind of
Screaming in the room. It's very simple. Okay.
but like my fear was kind of like it came over teddy bears, but there's a story to it.
Okay.
My mom's slippers.
Slippers. Okay. We all have that fear.
Failure.
Failure.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Height. Altitude. Height.
Height. Okay. So these are all different ones, but let's take exams first because it will tell you the real purpose of this very, very, very powerful emotion, which is fear. So when we were young, they told us, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, right? They told us that. Have any one of you managed not to be afraid?
No.
Never, right? Even the guys at war, do you think they are not afraid?
They're the most.
Yeah? They have fear. And the most courageous are the one who has the least fear, but he has fear, right? He has the least one, but again, he has fear. So what does fear tell us? So this is in your head what I want you to consider. Fear, or all negative emotions, are alarm. Consider it like a fire alarm. When a fire alarm goes on, what do you do? What is the first thing that you do?
Panic.
Panic?
Yeah, you run.
You run. First thing you do. Tiririn, tiririn, tiririn. What do you do?
I would even see fire.
What?
You look for the source of the
You look for the source of fire. So first you want to check if there is a fire or no. Now you know there is a fire. What do you do next?
try to
Run. If there is no fire, what do you do? What do you do? Nothing, right? Shout at the security guy. Okay, so this is what happens. So let's look at fear from the same perspective. I'm going to an exam, and then I have fear. What is fear telling me? It's an alarm. What is telling me? You're not prepared. It's telling you you're not prepared. So what do? You get prepared. So remember, what was the first thing that happened when the fire alarm happened?
Can I even check if that's actually right?
Exactly.
I am prepared, but I just feel like I'm not prepared. So I need to first actually assess if that's true, if I'm prepared or if I'm not.
Exactly. And so what do you call this? You want to check that meaning. Right? So exam is coming. What is the meaning I'm giving it? Is it an opportunity to fail? Or is it an opportunity to show people how good am I? Or is it no opportunity at all? Does that make sense? So if I have the fear and I look at the exam, and the first thing to check fire, and it's very, very simple. Just ask yourself, is this an opportunity for me to shine or not? And you will be surprised that only answering this question, you will know if the meaning is right or wrong. Because if the answer in your head is no, then now you know there is fire. Now what you need to do is get prepared. Does that make sense? And this is an enormous force and power that you have. No one else can tell you this except yourself, your emotion. Your emotion is the only thing that can tell you that you're really not ready if this is the right meaning that you gave to the exam. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How old are you? 21. So when I say, are you ready? You say yes, okay?
Yes.
Because I am 17 and I say yes normally, okay? Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes, okay. So fear will be like the alarm. It will go on, it will tell you you're not ready. You're not prepared for what is coming. Now I want you to think of all the stuff that you just told me that you had fear from. It makes sense, right? You're not ready. So now what do you need to do for fear to go away? Learn to dodge. So what does that mean? Get ready, right? So tell me now, when you're thinking about your fear, tell me one thing that you know if you learn now, you will not be afraid of what you told me. One thing that if you're sure of, this fear will go.
That I can get ready.
Yeah. You just told me about your fear, right? What was you afraid of?
Losing money.
Losing money. Tell me one thing that if you have or learned will let this fear go away. One thing. I want you all to think of one thing in your head. Yeah, I know it's difficult. And imagine one thing. If it happens, you will be free of that. What is one thing that if you have or learned how to do, this fear will go?
That I can be okay even if I lose.
Okay. This is one thing. Okay.
I don't know.
Think about it.
For me, it's positive reference experiences.
Okay. But what else if you learned, if you have, this fear will not exist? So research, confidence.
For me, it's like if I can be given assurance that I'm not going to die in the road, so that.
Okay. Because your word was everything. Choose one. Let's focus on one thing. Practice. Okay.
Multiple streams of comfort.
Okay. So multiple streams of comfort. So this is revenue and
What?
multiple streams of
Comfort.
comfort. What was your fear?
Future.
Future. Okay, so when you say multiple streams of comfort, means I can have many choices in life. Does that make sense?
Yes, multiple choices in love and money and like anything.
Exactly. So
Career.
this. So think about it this way. If you now start working on developing this, what do you think will happen to the fear?
I'll be at ease.
You will be at ease. Okay? But I know what is preventing you probably now is other set of emotions. So when you are starting to think, what can I have now that will remove this fear, you're probably having another negative emotion that's preventing you from thinking about this. What was it? Panic. Time. So this is another fear, right? Confusion. 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 Okay. So I'll tell you multiple of them, and then this will get the confusion out, because when you say confusion, you actually want to tell me it's stress. I feel stressed with this question because it's so many things. Because what is confusion?
Too many choices.
Too many things, right? And if you have too many things, how would you feel? Stressed, because too many things. Okay, so let's first look at the categories. So I'll put them in 9 categories so you can understand them. The first set of emotions, and as I told you, people will express them differently. Number 1 will be boredom, impatience, uncomfortable, and these are the general stuff that we usually feel. You feel, I feel bored, I feel impatient, I feel all of these stuff. So this is one set. We'll call it for now boredom. The other one is fear, and then the other one is hurt, and then the other one is frustration, and then and then and then and then and then and then nothing. Okay, 9. Okay, out of this list, which one, each one of you pick one, say this is my main one.
I can't.
You can't.
Yeah, it's like you have like ups and downs
Of all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Frustration.
Stress.
Stress.
Disappointment.
Disappointment. Frustration.
Probably alone.
Alone.
Stress.
Stress. Okay. Okay, so here are the steps. 5 steps to work your way with your emotion. Number 1, we need to listen to the emotion. Okay? Understand how you feel right now. And then, what is the meaning that you are giving it? And then, you tell me because I cannot see.
Is it true?
Is it true? So you check is the meaning that you gave, is it true or not? Does he hate me or he's busy? All right? Am I ready for the test or am I not? And then take action. So if my wife have understood the feeling right now of rejection, okay, is it true? No, it's not true. He's only busy. Can I take what I still want? Yes, I can. I just need a different behavior. So fear is like this. Fear is your alarm that is telling you, be prepared. Imagine that you have a door, and behind this door is a dark room, a room that you've never been into before. And then you have another door, and behind this door, again, dark room, but this is your room. And I gave you the choice to go inside one of them, and you can only go inside one of them. Which one would you choose? I don't know, I just forced you. I put a gun in your head and I say, choose one. Your
If
room.
you put a gun on my head, then I'd go in my own room.
The other room.
My own room.
So all of you said my own room. Why my own room?
Because you know, they are looking at, so I would look for a comfort.
Certainty.
that's like my comfort.
And exactly, uncertainty is there, dark room. But if you have another dark room, completely dark, and I told you there might be a treasure and there might be a lion or a snake, let's make it a snake, behind that door. It's dark. How would you feel if I tell you go in and take the treasure, or you might find a snake? How would you feel?
Do I get to come back out?
It's dark. The room is dark.
When I get to leave,
Yeah.
then I go into the room with the treasure.
Yeah, but how will you feel before you go to the room?
Everything.
So you'll have fear, right? So what is fear telling you? Be prepared. So how can you get prepared? What do you need? Light. So what are you going to do? You get a flashlight. And when you have a flashlight, what will you do? Turn it on, open the door, and check. If there is a treasure, you'll get it. If there is a snake, you can go out of the room. So if I tell you, don't be afraid, am I doing you good or bad?
50-50.
No, be like, yeah, you got to respond to the fear.
Right? So fear is good. I want you to be afraid, because if you are afraid, you will get ready. If you're not afraid, what are you going to do? You're going to open the door and go in. What will happen? 50-50 chance. You can take the treasure or you can die. But which are a smarter choice? Get ready. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is a very, 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 thank you very much, very, very, very powerful tool. Use it. Okay? Now let's go to the other one. Out of the list, there was one important one that I didn't mention. Can you remember which one I missed? Anger. You all noticed that? Why you didn't tell me?
You're the one doing the session with us. So.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, like, what if you know better than us?
Okay. Maybe, right? Yes. You're smart. Okay, so what is anger? What is anger? Let me first ask you, do we get angry or do we do angry? I want you to think a little bit before you answer. Do you get angry or do you do angry?
Do angry things.
The language says get angry.
The language.
Yes.
What does the language say about do angry? What does that mean?
Is that when you're
I'll give you an example.
physically displaying anger?
Yeah, because
How long do you know me now? 1.5 hours. Okay, so I will give you an appointment tomorrow at 9 and I will tell you let's do business together. 9 exactly, I don't show up. How will you feel?
How would you spell it?
You could be stuck in traffic.
Depends.
I remember your words and trying to assess the situation. Different.
Frustrated and sleepy.
Tired.
very unprofessional.
You might be testing my patience.
A bit angry.
Okay, 5 minutes later, I'm not there.
Well, there's a good chance I'm not there either. So.
No harm done. No, for the sake of the activity, let's say you're there.
The same thing.
Same.
I text you that I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah, probably I'll start checking on you.
okay.
Yeah, but also check if there's actually, if I need to be afraid, you did it on purpose or you didn't do it on purpose.
Okay, 15 minutes, I'm not there.
I'd probably take my leave then.
You'll take your leave. 15 minutes, I'm not there.
Done, sir.
I'll give you a call.
I waited longer, so.
So focus on something else.
Okay, half an hour and I'm not there. I didn't answer your call.
Utilize that
How will you
time.
feel?
I would just then start like
Okay.
that time.
Different version. Your dad, your mom gave you a meeting at 9. She didn't show up. How will you feel? How will you feel? Patient. Another 15 minutes. Because you know the flying slipper is there. So, so 30 minutes, he's not there. How will you feel?
Okay.
45 minutes?
I might be worried, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it's different, right? One, you choose to be angry. The other one, you choose to be worried. Do you do angry or you get angry?
You do angry.
You do angry. Because you chose to tell me that I am Iron Man, I cannot get sick, I cannot have an accident, I cannot be late, I cannot have anything, I have to be here at 9. But your dad, mom, sister, they can have all the excuses in the world. And you'll still feel worried. Make sense? So it depends on the meaning that you give to that external event. Does that make sense? Okay, so what is anger? When you get angry, what does that mean? What is it telling you? And I'll tell you why I didn't put it in. Because when you are angry, you are afraid. Now I want you to think of all the situations where you were really very angry, and you will find out that you were really frightened. Does that make sense?
Not much.
Choose a situation, and I've been doing that for 20 years. Not once one find something that he was really angry. Tell me one example. Tell me, Yusri, this situation happened, I was not afraid. Give me any situation.
Not afraid?
Angry. Like, I was not afraid, I was angry. Because people will tell you, no, I was not afraid, I was angry. Like, as if anger is a better state. You know, as if being angry is like being a billionaire. Like, no, I'm not afraid, I'm angry. I'm from the angry group. Because I was born angry, because whatever, and it's all, okay? There's nothing called like that. It's fear. And think about any situation. I'm walking in the street, and someone tries to pick on my wife. How do you think I will feel?
Disrespected.
And what is this?
It's fear.
It's fear. I'll show it, as people would say, anger, but it's not anger. It is a high level of fear. Does that make sense? If your boss is angry with you, why is he angry? He is afraid. Does that make sense? He's afraid about the target, he's afraid about the job, he's afraid about the project. If your father is angry from you, why is he angry? Because he's afraid about you, right? He's worried about, and he shows us a very common example. Anyone here has kids? Okay.
Is that a genuine
Okay.
question?
All right. Yes, genuine question. So, if we have kids, what happens? The kid is playing in the room, okay? And if you don't have kids, then you must have been a kid before, right?
Must.
So this you have. So you will have this, you remember this. The kid is playing in the room, and the mother is telling him, don't run, you'll hit your head, you'll hit your head, you'll hit your head, you'll hit your head. And then the kid doesn't stop, and then he hits his head. What happens? What does the mother do? She gets angry, right? And what does she do? She shouts, right? Ah! What is this? Is this anger? It is? Anger or fear? Fear, right? But she showed it as anger. And we call it anger, but it's not anger, it's fear. I don't know what to do, so I'm shouting at you, right? So there is nothing called anger, it's only fear. But anger is a different level of fear. So what is panic? It's fear. So I told you, when I chose the words, I chose them, but there is a spectrum of words. So when I say regret, what is another word for regret? Guilt?
Not getting that opportunity again.
Maybe you don't feel that. So it's a different representation of a feeling, but in a sentence. But this is how you feel. Maybe I will not get this again. So it's a spectrum of things. So when I say guilt, take all the words that represent it. When I say fear, take all the words. But anger is one of them. And anger was made, why is it so quick? Why is it so quick? Why people always react angry before anything else? Because it was built inside us for only one reason and one reason only. To protect your life. So imagine someone is trying to kill you. How do you want to feel? Joy. Yes. Kill me. Yeah? You want to feel panic when I'm killing you?
There will be panic, yes.
Yeah, but what will happen if you panic?
Die.
Exactly. What is the only thing that can protect you? Anger. And this is why when people get angry, they may kill, because now they are capable of doing it. And this is why it's like 911. Consider this level of fear is like your 911. It will come to you when your life is threatened. And this is why when you are angry, ask yourself, because anger is the only thing that really needs you to check the meaning. Why am I afraid? And once you understand it, you will not be angry. I had a couple who came to me, they're always fighting together, and he said, my wife is always angry. And I took her to the side and I said, why are you afraid? I'm not afraid, I'm angry. Yes, why are you afraid? I'm not afraid, maybe he will leave me. Maybe I'm getting old. So it was all fear. Now, when she understood that she is afraid, now what is the next step? What do? We get ready. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You don't need to shout, because I know you're trying to absorb it. So no shouting this one. Absorb it first. Does that make sense? You absorbed it. Say yes, but very good. Yeah? Okay. So this is anger. So there's nothing called anger. It's only fear. So what do we do when we are angry? Ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And when you know why you're afraid, you'll know that you need to get ready so you're not afraid anymore. Okay? So now, let's stand up. I'll tell you something that you need to experience, and this will tell you how to change your emotion, and then we're going to explain another one, which is frustration, because frustration is a really very, 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 very powerful alarm. When frustration comes to me, I get happy. So my wife sees me and she says, why are you so excited today? I tell her, I'm frustrated.
No, never happens.
Why?
How?
I'll tell you how in a second. But frustration is good news. When you are frustrated, you will be very, very, very happy. So come with us so you don't feel frustrated. Without the chair, come without the chair, and then you can sit back, come in the circle. Okay? So let's do this very, very quickly. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. Come next to me. So let's make a circle. Okay? No, inside the circle. Yes. Okay, cool. Now let's look this side. Yes. Perfect. And then we're going to walk. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to be sad. And how do people sad? How many nationalities do we have here?
Algerian, Egyptian.
Swiss.
What is that? Arman.
Swiss.
Swiss?
India,
Pakistan.
India.
Bangladesh.
Bulgaria.
Okay. So we have different things. So, but how people would express sadness when they are sad and different. So how do people get sad in India? What do? Do they look up or down?
I don't think it's an Indian thing. I think
Yeah, tell me.
down.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure?
Just bang their head.
Okay, so they look down. Okay. In Egypt, do they move slow or fast when they are sad?
Slow.
Slow. Same in India, right?
They become kind because we are expert in refreshing.
Okay, so
Very nice people.
okay, so everything slows down. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to look down. I want you to move slowly. So let's move slowly. Okay. I want you to remove the smile from your face. I want your hands to be loose. I want you to really look down, bend your back. It's sad. I know it's similar to zombie thing, but consider it sad for now. Okay? Now I want you to say this. I want you to say, this is a perfect day. I'm really very happy. No, say it really slowly. This is the best training I attended. Why are you laughing? Okay, stop. Why are you laughing?
The way you
It doesn't feel like sad, right?
Congruent to what we are actually feeling.
Yeah.
What you're saying and what you're feeling is.
It's yeah, it's
contrast,
yeah. There is a contest. Okay, so let's do it now the other way around. Okay, so when you are happy, what do you do in Swiss?
Yeah.
Like this.
Like this, right? Are you loud or not loud?
Energetic? It's more
Energetic.
yeah.
Okay. Yes, ask about loud. Are we loud?
Yes, we
yes,
are.
we're loud. Okay, so remember this. We're loud. Are we looking up or down? Up. Up. Our muscles are tense or loose?
Active.
Active. We're fast or slow? Fast, right? I'm sorry. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. Now, I want you to move really quick. Move in a circle. Move quick. I want you to clap your hands. Yeah, make like a beat, like as if you're dancing. As if. Okay, and now this is what I want you to say. I want you to say, this is a very bad day. I'm really very angry. This is very, yeah. Now, how do you feel? Stop. How do you feel?
Good.
Happy, even though our words were not happy. Okay? Have a seat. So what does that tell you? If you are experiencing negative emotion, what can you do? You can move, right? Move, shout, go to the gym, play music, all of that will make you feel good. Does it solve the problem? No. Why it's not solving the problem? Because we're not listening to the alarm. Listen to the alarm, understand what does it mean, then go and act. Okay? Now let's go to one which is really, really, really nice. And to make this nice, we're going to have to do an experiment. And to do the experiment, I'm going to have to tie you. Oops. Can you do something? Maybe my wife heard me and this is why she's calling. Okay. Let's see frustration. Give me your hand. Stand up. When I go to training, I give guys an exercise to do, and this exercise is about a bus. And I tell them that the bus is going to Germany, and they need to go to Swiss. And at the beginning, I don't tell them where the bus is going, but they know they need to go to Switzerland, and the bus is going to Germany. So at the beginning, they go all in the bus, and then after the bus moves, what do you think they discover?
They're going in the wrong direction.
They go into the wrong direction. So they go out of the bus, they come back to the station, and then they find again the same bus. And this bus has 4 doors. What do you think these people do? Yeah, it has 4 doors, 2 in front, 2 in the back. What do you think they should do?
Jump off the bus.
The same bus. They came back to the station, they find the same bus. What do? Okay, so they should double check, right? Amazingly, they don't do double checking, they just go again in the same bus. But this time from a different door. So they go from the other side, from the left. They find themselves in Germany. They go back, they find again the same bus. Tell them, now what are you going to do, guys? We say, we'll have the same bus, but now we're going to get from the back door. This is what people do in the training. So what are you going to do? I give you a hint. What are you going to do?
On a different bus, I guess.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
It's always the best way. Tied up. Yeah.
Usually, when I do training, and I'm not getting money, so I tie people, and then I don't untie them until they pay. So it's a simple question. I want you guys to get out. Is it tight? Anyone? I did it tight?
It's perfect.
Yeah, but you're not feeling hurt or anything, right? Okay. So basically what I want you to do, I want you to get out of each other, guys, without cutting the rope or untying the rope. Okay? So until you do that, we can have another 2.
Can I skip that one or?
Hmm?
Can I skip that one? Okay.
You don't want to get that? You don't want to pay? All right. And you're gonna play
Okay.
because you're gonna have to play.
Alright. I saw this on TikTok, bro.
Yeah? You saw it on TikTok?
I don't know how to do it.
Why TikTok are doing my stuff?
Big them too.
No, it's always
It's not a closed loop. I
It
just
is a
don't know
closed
why
loop.
it's not a
It is a closed loop. It's a circle. One way or the other.
No.
Got?
You were very, very close from doing it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do it all together. All 3 of you.
One more.
I think we're going to
There's 2, oh, there's 3, okay.
No, not with you.
do them together.
No. Okay.
Wait, so it's just us two?
Yes.
Oh, it's just us two.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Oh, wait. Yeah, go. No.
My hand is full. But you'll have to.
Okay.
That won't work.
You're done?
يفكوا هذه وخلاص نطلع منها.
Hmm?
Correct?
No. Ta 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 ta.
No, you're so tired.
You wanna get tied?
Okay.
Do you want to try or do you want us to do this quickly?
If it's a closed loop, if I get both my hands on one side.
Yeah, exactly.
Untie yourself.
No, he said you can't.
Untie
You cannot untie yourself.
If
You
it's
can't?
not tight,
Okay.
can I just like slip my hand into
So what's the
one
objective again?
and then
Yeah, do it.
Just have to get out of this.
So what's
But
the
you need to be like
We need to
0 years old so you can do it.
like we
so I can't cut the rope or untie it?
Untangle, you cannot untie it, and you cannot cut it.
You cannot cut it, you cannot
Yes.
untie it.
But I want you to see what you're doing, okay? Yes, exactly. You're almost there. Yes, fantastic. Nothing happened. Okay. Yes. They are out. See, they are out. He's out. He's in. He's out. He's in. He's out.
We also need to get back.
Fantastic.
He's just saying what they're doing. They're not out of the rope. They're just out.
I think we should think about the problem. So we can't untie it
1 minute.
and cut it.
1 minute.
Can I not just, I'm not untying it.
I just feel the
No.
So I can't do it.
No.
Yeah, I think. Check what.
Alhamdulillah.
Stop pulling it. Just take it out, just take it out.
30 seconds. Yes, you're there. Yes. 1 is out. No, it's not.
Wait, now come back. Now come back. No.
there has to be like
10 seconds.
I'll go back. You go inside.
Yeah, we just do the same thing, man.
Okay, then you
How do you feel?
happy.
Oh, fantastic.
Excited, but confused as well at the
Okay.
same time.
Turn on to Google.
Don't.
No, we're just
My entire life revolves around Google.
Like this.
When I don't, I Google it.
If I don't know something, I Google it. It's not a closed loop. I can almost.
Okay, time.
Okay, sure.
Before you Google it. Okay. So let me show you what are you doing, guys. Oops.
We did it.
Yes, I know. Okay, let me show you. Have a seat. Let me show you what you're doing. So this is what's happening. You remember that I told you about the bus, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do? At the beginning, you came down and you asked the guy in front of you to step in, right? So he steps in. And then what did you find out? Nothing doesn't work. So what do? We really get very smart. Okay, let me go in. And then you go in. What happens?
Stuck again.
Nothing happens, right? So what do? Okay, now let's do something different. You do it. No, let me do it. So people keep going in the same bus. And then how will you feel? Frustrated, right? So what is frustration telling you?
To change direction.
To change?
Keep trying.
To change?
Direction.
Direction? Change?
Orientation.
Yeah, change the meaning of what
Change what you're doing. Okay? Frustration is a very powerful message that is telling you stop doing what you keep on doing and expecting different results. Because we're doing the same thing. He's in or I'm in, it doesn't really matter. And then we really get very smart. Let's do it backward. Maybe if we give it our back, it will work. It doesn't. The same result. Okay? And then when it doesn't work, then he tries it with his back and so on. And we keep doing it. Frustration is telling you what you're doing is not working, change it. And when he's telling you change it, he doesn't mean you go in and I go in. It means let's change what we're doing. Totally. Okay, so let's do it together. And I was happy that you said it was not closed loop, because it's not closed circle. Let me try you. So what does frustration tell you?
Think.
Change what you're doing. Don't think, he already did the thinking for you. He's telling you, don't do it. Do something different. And this is why, and this is why, when they give you this good advice of, when you feel stressed, play music, or when you play music, what do? Nothing. You didn't change anything. You're simply distracting yourself from the problem. The problem needs a different approach. So basically, stop going inside each other and coming in and out and in and out. And all what you need to do is really do something different. How did that happen? Okay. Do something different, and simply, I will take this like
there
this.
we go.
And you like this. See, you were very, very
Very
close.
Very
All right? Okay?
Let's loop this.
And I'm not showing you this, guys, so you learn how to do it. We'll talk about frustration. Okay, I'll show you after we finish. But does that make sense?
Yes.
Frustration is telling you, because I want you now to think about it. When you feel frustrated, when does it happen? When do you feel frustrated?
Something isn't working.
Yeah,
When something isn't working, right? When you tried and tried and tried. Now frustration is telling you, stop, think about what you're doing, change it. And when we say change it, you need to change it. So some people are looking for a job, okay? And I'm looking on LinkedIn. So someone else, change what you're doing. Instead of sending 10, send 20. Instead of sending 20, send 30. Are you changing? No. What you need to do is take your CV and go visit people. Do YouTube videos. Do something totally different. Does that make sense? So when you feel frustration, is it good news or bad? It's really good news. It's telling you stop because think about it. Can anyone else see that you're doing the same thing? Can anyone even notice it? Sometimes. And the majority of the time they will not. Your emotion is the only thing that will notice that you're doing the same thing. And it's the only thing that will tell you change it. Other people will not notice. If you came to me and you said, Yusri, I'm sending 10, but now I'm sending 20, they would tell you, good job. But your emotion knows, and it will not stop. It will keep hitting you and telling you, the bell will keep ringing. Stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing. And if you keep doing it, it will not work. Does that make sense? So this is frustration. So now we know fear. Fear is telling you to get ready. Frustration is telling you to stop doing what you're doing, expecting different results. We all know the definition of insanity and all of that. Yeah, right? So it's a very, very good alarm. So use it. Okay? And then what is anger? It's fear. So back to the mother thing. So when the mother is shouting at the kid, is she helping him? No. Why? I want you to take the shoes of the kid, and we'll close with this one. When we don't listen to our alarms, we'll do wrong behaviors, and when we do wrong behaviors, we'll get results. And this example is really, really powerful, because when the mother shouted, and let's look at the kid now. The kid who was playing, he's never been hit before. He doesn't know the experience. When he's hit, how do you think he feels? What is the first thing he feels? Hurt, right? And then after the hurt, what is the emotion that will come to him? Sad or fear? No, let's say he doesn't know anything. This is his first experience with getting hit. Okay? So he'll feel fear. If he is afraid and hurt, and he can see his mother next to him, what do you think he will expect? Comfort, right? Protection, all of that. But what does he find? Angry, attack. In his head, he will understand that when I am in the most hurtful situations, when I'm really hurt, when I'm really in fear, the closest people to me will attack me. And guess what happens year after year after year? When we are old or teens, when we do big mistake, what do? Do we go to our mothers and fathers? Usually not. Why? Because they taught us and they trained us, when you are hurt, when you are afraid, don't come to me, because I will hurt you more. Does that make sense? And this is not because they are not afraid. They are afraid, but they didn't understand the real meaning, that when you are angry, you are afraid. So if you understand why you have the fear, the mother could have solved the problem very, very easily. Why is the mother afraid? She's not prepared for her kid to be hurt, right? This is the preparation. So I need to be prepared. Prepared for what? For my kid running. So what do? I have the table. What do? If I want to be prepared? Remove the table, and easier, you can get some cloth and wrap up the table from the places, and job is done. Now when my kid is playing, will I fear? Will I be afraid? No. Job is done. I got prepared. Does that make sense? Yeah? So in essence, all of your what we call negative emotions are alarms. They are telling you how to deal with negative and challenging situation. If you really understand them and you check the meaning that you are giving it, and then you take action to get ready to change the way you're doing it, to be prepared, then fear will go. If any one of you have ever had fear of public speaking or talking to a group, if you have this fear, it's basically telling you, be prepared. And how do you get prepared for something like this? Practice. I'll speak with 2 guys, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. My first time was in front of 200. I panicked so much. And I kept looking at them and looking at me. And like, what do I say? And I froze for like a minute, and it felt like a year. And then that was it. All right? Okay. So let's have 5 minutes of questions and we close. Any questions about any other feeling.
Can we overlap these negative emotions with, how do we overlap these negative emotions spontaneously with?
You cannot. It's a built-in alarm system. Use it. When you go to any angry management course, they will tell you, you will not feel angry again. They are lying. It will never happen. You have to be angry. Why? Because it protects you against death. If I come, let's say you go to an angry management training, and miraculously, he made anger disappear from you, and now I'm coming to kill you. What will you do? Feel love? Or feel, what will you feel? Nothing. You'll die. You need to be angry. You need to feel afraid, so you get prepared. You need to feel frustration, so you change what you're doing. You need to feel regret, so you understand that the lines. So what is regret? Another important one. Regret is basically telling you, you have crossed a line that you have put yourself. I said I will not do that, and I did it. So your emotion is the only person, if we call it a person, he knows that you have crossed a line that you have put yourself. So he's telling you basically, please respect your own rules. They are made to protect you. And all what you need to remove regret is to promise yourself that you will respect your own rules. That's it. And it's as easy as that. If you tell yourself, I know now that my rules are good for me, you will always respect it. Because once you cross, how many times have that happened to you? And you knew that what you're doing was wrong, and you do it. And then you feel regret. Does that make sense? And then they will tell you, don't feel regret. No, please feel regret, because if you don't feel regret, you'll do it again. And how many times have you felt regret and you did it again? Because they told you not to regret it. Does that make sense? So don't call them negative emotions, call them emotions. And they are alarm against all bad things that will happen. Use them. Does that answer your question? Any other questions?
We seem to be very advanced as a civilization of people. Speak languages, people, software, magnificent things. But this is very rudimentary. Why have we lost touch with this emotion and their meaning? And how can we nurture it?
Because we were always taught, and I think most of us are still learning the same thing, that they will come to you and tell you, don't use your emotions, use your brain. And and that doesn't really work. Humans are built, you know bats? Do you know how bats fly? What do they use? Sonar, right? Humans are the same thing. We use emotions. Emotions are the most important thing that we, why do you think we're doing anything in life? Let me tell you, what is your biggest, wildest dream? What do you really want to do in life?
I'm not old enough to answer that question. Can someone
Tell me something that you want now, not good, something that you really want now.
money?
Okay, why?
Because I can get things.
Okay, and when you get things, what will happen?
I just get the thing. That's the entirety of it.
Yeah, and then what will happen when you get these stuff?
Some semblance of happiness.
Okay, what do you really need?
Do I really need?
Yeah. Think about one thing that you really want.
Success.
And success. And when you are successful, what will that make you feel?
When I feel more confident.
Okay. Tell me something material that you want, something that you really want in life.
I'll get to the next question. I want to be fulfilled.
Fulfilled. And what is fulfillment?
Success, money.
It's an emotion, right? It's an emotion. What do you?
To basically close the next funding round.
Okay, and when you have that, what will happen? Security. And what is security? Feeling. So think about anything. At the end, what do you want? You want to feel something. And so emotions are very important, because at the end, this is what we want. Nothing really matters. What matters is how will I feel after I get it. And this is why happiness doesn't really make any sense. If I tell you, I want you to work to be happy, you cannot. Simply do all the things that you want to do, and then you'll be happy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is why emotions are very important. Humans, like bats, we operate with our emotions. Things are happening in life and we emitting our emotions. They go, they hit it, we get a meaning, it reflects to us, and then we start thinking. Think about anything that you, think about the guy who thought of flying. How did it start? Do you think it started in his head or his feeling? His emotion. Okay? Imagine this, there was no flying, we don't know anything about it. And I was sitting like this and I saw a bird flying. What do you think the first thing happened?
Wow.
And what is wow?
Inspiration.
Yeah, what is wow? It's a feeling, right? Yeah, I feel I can do like this. Then he start thinking. When you buy a car, what is the first thing that attracts you to buy a car? Feeling, and then you think about it. Think expensive, nice, better, or, right? So always emotion and then anything else. And this answers your question. So people, because we were always brought to, don't use your emotion, don't use your heart, don't, no, it's, okay? It's always use your emotions. It will not lie to you, but you need to check the meaning first. So first step, listen to your emotion, check the meaning, if it has the right meaning or not, then take action. As simple as that. Final 2 questions.
I have a question about what if basically you're communicating, you try to communicate your emotions, right? In a certain way, basically, that the environment can understand and can change when we're talking about, like, you know, what creates a negative state and all that. But you're not getting maybe actually that that willingness to understand emotions, right? So what would be the best course of action?
So what you're telling me, I'm trying to communicate with other people
Yes.
on an emotional level and they cannot understand it.
No, it's not like you don't understand. You don't see the willingness to understand.
Okay.
When it comes to when the discussion, you know, where there are some people, what he was saying, there are some people who don't want to get, you know, in touch with their emotions,
Yes.
discuss this stuff anyways. They try to put barriers, like, you know, when those kind of discussions come into place.
Yes.
So I'm not even getting yet to the point of, like, you know, you understand me or not understand the emotion, but can we speak about that? Because, like, sometimes, you know, some people just, like, completely isolate themselves.
Okay. What you need to do is you need to take this picture that you're looking at and just reverse it the other way around. Let me give you an example. Now, if you go to a training, have you ever went to a training and instantly when you saw someone giving this training or session, you felt, I'm turned off? And then after maybe a couple of hours, you said, yes, I was turned off, and I'm still off, and I know now that this is the end of our relationship. And has that ever happened to you? In any setting, meeting, whatever, right? So what does that tell you about what you're telling me? Who's responsible to get your attention and your emotion? Me or you? In that setting. If I really want you to be with me 100%, and I want to, it's my job, right? So my job to create certain emotions inside you that will make you interested to listen and work with me. If I fail in doing it, then I need to change. Does that make sense?
I mean, I basically genuinely believe in this, and I'm a public speaker, so I know that. But there are some times actually where you are trying absolutely to use the sandwich theory, right?
Yes.
Like you start with a positive actually emotion, you try to kind of trigger them to motivate them or to make them happy, or like, you know, remember any memory and stuff, and then discuss whatever you really wanted to do, and then you end it also with a happy ending, so that actually
Yes.
is like, you know, you get it into it. But what I'm talking about is basically some sort of people when you have like a certain kind of like a kind of relationship with them, when you are in the stress of like work and entrepreneurship and all of that, the type of discussions that you usually have are not emotional discussions. That's what I'm trying to say. And then all of a sudden, you are like, you know, bringing a different type of discussion that we want to say.
Okay.
So
Let me here ask you, when you say it's not an emotional discussion, what do you mean? Emotional like it's emotional, or emotional like what we are talking about here?
No. I mean, most of the time we're discussing numbers or like, you know,
Okay.
the logical
Okay.
stuff.
Now, again, humans communicate with emotions. Now, it doesn't really matter if we're using numbers. So let's say I told you, we didn't really make our numbers this month. How will you react? It's an external event, right?
Yeah.
What did it do to you?
Disappointed.
What is this?
Feeling.
Okay, so whatever I say, number, business, meeting, whatever it is, first thing it will create an emotion. Now, depending on the meaning that you are giving to the guy who say, so I can tell you we didn't achieve the number, and you give it a meaning that lousy, why did we hire him? He's not doing a good job. Or maybe I didn't help him enough. Maybe he needs support. Maybe he needs more tools. Will that make your behavior different? Right? So just to make it simple, think about it as a relationship. If I have a relationship with someone and he did something, and in my head immediately I gave it a meaning that this is the end of the relationship, how do you think I will behave? And do you think it will be different if I give it a meaning that this is the beginning of our relationship?
Yeah, I think what I wanted to say is basically how to make people open up. That's what I wanted to say. It's not about
triggers.
we're not trying to. Sorry.
You have to find their triggers.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's like because it's not that basically they're not motivated or we're not taking the right direction. It's always with a positive mindset that actually we want to help each other, right? But it's just some people keep closing up.
Who said that it is right? Remember the exercise that we did about the meaning of the chair?
Yeah.
Now you could be doing me the most wonderful thing, but my meaning is totally different. So when you're giving me the chair and you're telling me, Yusri, it's comfortable, I maybe look at it and say it's authority. So in your head, you're seeing it comfortable. In my head, I'm seeing it authority. So what do? Is you communicate with people, understand them, ask them how do they feel. When I work with my team, I always ask them, how do they feel and how do they want to feel and what can I do to make them feel that, because I cannot guess. And I don't need to guess. Okay? And make it a casual thing. We don't have time to this, but maybe next time we can do this. I'll tell you how to listen, because listening is not your ears at all. It has nothing to do with your ears. Ears are for hearing. Listening is a totally different story. And so you need to listen so you can get on the same wavelength. And this is why they call it emotion intelligence.
This is what I said, like exactly ask this question, how do you feel? And they're like, nothing. Obviously it's not nothing. Like, your body language doesn't say nothing.
And because most of the time people see, this is a taboo in our region, and not our region, in the world. People don't like to feel that they are feeling anything negative. They don't like to feel that they are afraid or angry, or it gives them a sense of weakness. So they will tell you, no, I don't feel anything. Like I told you, they feel more prestigious to say that they are angry rather than fear. Okay? So it takes time for them first to understand that emotions are a good thing. And actually, it is the only thing. Okay? But they are trying to be intellectual and blah, blah, blah. It's nothing. There is nothing called like this. You have to feel, then you think, you feel again, then you think again, and then you take action. I fall in love with the car. I took action. I bought it. I drove it. I'm feeling again. I like it. I keep it. I don't like it. I take a decision, sell it. I have another feeling, regret. It's always like this. Feel, think, decision, feeling, think, decision. Does that answer your question? So it needs work, and I know I didn't give you all the answers because it's only 2 hours. But it's next time we'll do another thing. Completion.
I'm glad to hear there's a next time. We will schedule another one.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I enjoyed today's workshop. I hope you guys did as well. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, he's here if you guys want to catch me. He's here inside as well. There is a video link that I can share with you guys where you can just upload your video testimonial or what do you call it session? Not very long, 50 seconds, 1 minute, whatever. I think if you registered, I sent it on email to everybody who's registered. I can send it again. So really appreciate feedback.
Thank you, Yusri.
Thank you very much. So stand up. Let's do something very, very quickly to close our day. If you can join us, ladies, I think you're done.